Hi, Clay from Poble's Backyard Farm, and we have put together a hearty and beautiful venison stew. Now, what I did is I diced up some potatoes, and I took diced up some small carrots, diced up 2 onions. I took
Celery. Do you use celery?
we used some of the dehydrated celery. I used a little bit of dehydrated corn that we had dehydrated. I took some venison, and in a frying pan I put the chunks of venison. I added just a little oil so that it would brown the venison. Then I added just a little bit of water to the venison, and I cooked it down. And when I got it all cooked, I chopped them up into some nice bite-sized pieces. And instead of dumping the water from the frying pan with the oil and the water in there, I put it right into here, because when I browned the meat in the little bit of vegetable oil, it brought some of the browning out of the meat into the pan. And when I added the little bit of water, it took and didn't leave the browning in the pan, but it brought it and made a broth, a venison broth. And then I added some tomato juice to this, just a little bit, and we cooked it down. I started it, I think, about noon, and it was ready to eat we were eating at 4 or 5 o'clock that evening.
This is a good one. This one here is it's delicious.
I added some spices.
What did you use for the base of the soup? Did you say the
tomato juice?
Oh, okay, you did.
I used 3 cans. I think they were like 12-ounce cans of tomato juice. They were just, like a soda can's size. And I put all my vegetables in there, and I let the vegetables in that heat up in the crock pot while I was cooking up my venison. But as you can see, it's really thick and hearty, really good. Now, we made this up yesterday. This is the second time around. We're reheating it for today. We're going to eat on this all day long today. And I added spices. I added celery, diced celery from our dehydrated celery. Like I said, I put some dehydrated corn in here. I added a little bit of oregano, some celery salt, and just about a half teaspoon of chili powder, which give it just enough spice so that it wasn't hot, but it gave it some flavor. Pepper and salt, and I just let it cook for about 3 to 4 hours in the crock pot, stirring it occasionally. And like I said, we ate it for supper last night. But with any kind of soup or stew, once it sets overnight in the refrigerator, somehow it adds flavor to it. So we put the crock pot back on this morning, and like I said, we're going to finish it. Once this gets hot, we're going to have it for lunch and finish up the rest later this evening. Now, this is my version of a venison stew. A lot of other people will use the venison and make like a gravy instead of having any tomato or anything in it. It's all up to you. But I put a little bit of garlic in this too.
And thank you for the prayers for people that prayed we get some venison, because a friend brought some venison over.
And it was great, because we were talking venison stew, and now we've got some.
Clay doesn't hunt, and it's crazy here. We've had people shot, and we just don't. People come from out of the area to hunt here, and there's just situations. So Clay doesn't hunt.
There's too much going on out there that I don't want to get involved in. Besides, I got a lot of other things I got going on in my life. But anyhow, this is our version of the venison stew. It was very good. If you don't like venison, by all means use beef. You could use turkey from leftover Thanksgiving turkey and make yourself a turkey stew. But any way you do it, try it. because stew is good and hearty. It's not as thin and watery as a soup, but if you wanted to make it a little thicker, you could use just a little bit of flour or cornstarch, which would thicken it. So no matter what you do, you just add your flavors to it, and you have yourself a good, hearty, decent meal for the family. Okay, this is Clay and Ruthie from Bubbles Backyard Farm saying make your own stews and soups, and you'll be surprised with just what you can do with bits and pieces of stuff that you chop up and cook. But remember, cracked pots take hours to cook, so if you're going to have it for supper, you might want to start it early. Okay? Bye.